In today's battlefield, dominance is no longer measured by the roar of fighter jets or the thunder of artillery. The real power lies in silence, the silent hum of a drone circling miles above, unseen yet all-seeing, ready to strike with surgical precision. Pakistan has embraced this new reality, transforming unmanned aerial systems from mere machines into strategic game changers. Every deployment is calculated, every mission designed not for spectacle but for maximum impact with minimal exposure. This is not the warfare of numbers, it's the warfare of intelligence, adaptability, and timing. While many nations chase expensive and cumbersome technologies, Pakistan has shown that agility, innovation, and precision can outmatch brute force. And now, from Washington to Brussels, defense experts are watching with growing interest and, in some cases, concern, because this shift is not just altering Pakistan's military strength, it's rewriting the very rules of modern conflict. Pakistan's approach to drone warfare is not about unleashing swarms of machines to overwhelm an adversary, but about delivering strikes with surgical precision, using each operation as a calculated move in a larger strategic game. This precision over numbers philosophy challenges the traditional mindset of modern warfare, where military might is often measured by how many weapons you can deploy, how quickly you can saturate a battlefield, and how much destruction you can cause in the shortest time. Instead, Pakistan's doctrine shifts the measure of success from sheer quantity to targeted effectiveness, a principle that is not just reshaping its defense strategy, but also drawing the attention of global military analysts who are beginning to see its long-term sustainability. In an era where warfare is evolving towards information dominance, stealth, and minimal collateral damage, Pakistan's method shows that fewer drones, when guided by sharp intelligence and a well-defined objective, can have a far greater impact than massive deployments that scatter resources and create unpredictable blowback. This strategy relies heavily on precise targeting, using high-resolution reconnaissance to map enemy positions, identify key assets, and strike at moments when the impact will ripple through the adversary's operational capability. It reduces the risk of exposing expensive platforms to unnecessary danger and maximizes the psychological impact of each hit. Adversaries are forced to adapt to the idea that no location is truly safe and that every movement might be under watch, creating a constant state of defensive tension. The Western defense establishment is particularly interested in this because it aligns with the growing need to conduct leaner, smarter military operations in an era of tightening budgets and public sensitivity to civilian casualties. By showing that precision, patience, and well-timed execution can outmatch overwhelming force, Pakistan is crafting a model of drone warfare that is not only tactically effective but strategically disruptive, proving that in the battles of the future, the side that thinks sharper, not just bigger, will hold the advantage. Pakistan's focus on indigenous innovation and cost efficiency in drone warfare has become a defining feature of its defense strategy, one that is catching the attention of military analysts worldwide. Instead of relying solely on high-cost imported systems that often come with political strings attached, Pakistan has invested in developing and modifying drones locally, blending homegrown engineering with selectively acquired foreign technologies. This approach has created a fleet of unmanned systems that are not only effective, but also far more economical to produce and maintain compared to many Western equivalents. By prioritizing affordability without compromising too heavily on capability, Pakistan ensures that its drone program can be sustained over the long term, even under budgetary constraints or in the face of sanctions and export restrictions. The emphasis on modular designs allows for quick upgrades and adaptations, meaning that a drone built for reconnaissance today can be equipped with strike capabilities tomorrow, or modified for electronic warfare the next month, all without requiring a complete overhaul. This flexibility makes the system scalable and adaptable to changing battlefield requirements. The domestic manufacturing capacity reduces dependence on foreign supply chains, which can be vulnerable to geopolitical pressures, delays, or blockades, and allows Pakistan to rapidly replace losses or produce in bulk if needed. Western experts see this as a valuable lesson in resilience and self-reliance, two qualities increasingly important in an era where technological dominance is as much about sustaining capabilities as acquiring them. In operational terms, Pakistan's cost-effective drones can be deployed in larger numbers without the crippling financial burden associated with high-end Western UAVs, enabling persistent surveillance, frequent strike missions, and sustained pressure on an adversary over extended periods. This model forces other militaries to consider whether they are over-investing in expensive, over-engineered systems when leaner, more pragmatic solutions can achieve similar or even superior strategic results. By proving that effective drone warfare does not have to rely on billion-dollar budgets or elite technology monopolies, Pakistan is not just fielding a capable force, but also setting an example for how smaller or mid-tier powers can punch above their weight in modern conflict. Pakistan's integration of drones into a broader hybrid warfare framework represents a strategic evolution that extends far beyond simple aerial strikes. Hybrid warfare is the art of combining conventional military power with unconventional tactics, cyber attacks, electronic warfare, psychological operations, and misinformation to weaken an adversary's resolve and capabilities without triggering a full-scale traditional war. In Pakistan's case, drones are not isolated tools. They are one part of a multi-layered offensive and defensive approach. A drone strike might be coordinated with a cyber disruption of enemy communications, timed to sow confusion and delay response efforts. Reconnaissance drones might relay intelligence to psychological operations teams, enabling the release of targeted propaganda or misinformation at the exact moment it will have the most destabilizing effect. This synergy between aerial platforms and non-kinetic tools creates a web of pressure points on an adversary, making it harder to predict, counter, or defend against the next move. Pakistan's understanding of hybrid warfare also allows it to operate in the gray zones of conflict, areas where the line between war and peace is intentionally blurred. Drones can surveil without firing a shot, exerting psychological pressure and shaping the battle space without triggering outright retaliation. By integrating unmanned aerial capabilities with electronic jamming, signal interception, and real-time social media manipulation, Pakistan can disrupt enemy morale and operational flow without expending vast resources. Western defense experts are watching closely because this method reflects the modern reality that future conflicts will not be fought solely with tanks, jets, and ships, but through an interconnected network of cyber and physical assets that complement each other. In this model, drones serve not only as weapons but also as sensors, decoys, and catalysts for broader operations, enabling a far more dynamic use of limited resources. Such tactics demonstrate that in the 21st century, victory will often belong to the side that can weave together multiple forms of pressure, kinetic, electronic, psychological, into a seamless strategy, and Pakistan's drone doctrine is showing how that can be done effectively in a volatile regional environment. Pakistan's ability to merge drones with real-time intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance has transformed its unmanned systems from simple strike tools into highly responsive, adaptive assets that can alter the course of an operation in minutes. This fusion of ISR capabilities with drone platforms means that missions are not based on static plans drawn up hours or days in advance, but on live, evolving data that reflects the actual conditions on the ground. A drone in flight can detect unexpected enemy movement, relay that information instantly to command centers, and receive updated strike orders within seconds, creating a cycle of observation, decision, and action that is exceptionally fast. This speed and fluidity are crucial in modern warfare, where opportunities for decisive action can be fleeting, and enemy forces may disperse or relocate before slower, traditional command structures can respond. By linking drones to a network of intelligence assets, satellite imagery, electronic intercepts, human sources, Pakistan maximizes the accuracy of targeting, ensuring that each strike is both timely and effective. The ability to update targeting data mid-flight reduces the risk of collateral damage, a factor that is not only morally and strategically important, but also critical in shaping public perception and avoiding political fallout. This real-time integration also allows drones to serve as forward observers for artillery or ground operations, directing fire with pinpoint accuracy or providing overwatch for advancing troops. Western defense experts view this as a model for how to get the most out of unmanned platforms without necessarily investing in the most expensive hardware. The value lies in the networked approach, making drones an extension of the overall intelligence picture rather than standalone units. This network-centric warfare model enables a military to punch above its technological weight, achieving results that rival or exceed those of forces with more advanced but less integrated systems. Pakistan's use of drones as both eyes and hands on the battlefield reflects a shift in doctrine from mere possession of weapons to mastery of information and timing, and it is this mastery that is drawing attention in global military circles. Pakistan's strategic partnerships with emerging technology powers have been a driving force behind the rapid growth and sophistication of its drone warfare capabilities, allowing it to leapfrog years of slow domestic development and immediately access cutting-edge systems. By aligning closely with countries like China and Turkey, Pakistan has tapped into a pool of advanced UAV designs, sensor packages, and weapons systems that would have otherwise taken decades and massive budgets to produce independently. These partnerships are not one-sided purchases. Pakistan has been quick to absorb, adapt, and integrate these foreign technologies into its own defense doctrine, often modifying imported platforms to suit its specific operational environment. For instance, drones acquired from allies are sometimes stripped down and re-engineered with locally produced components, making them more resilient to supply chain disruptions and easier to maintain with domestic resources. This collaborative approach accelerates Pakistan's learning curve, enabling its engineers, tacticians, and drone operators to gain hands-on experience with the latest innovations while contributing their own insights to the design and operational use of these systems. Such alliances also provide a level of geopolitical flexibility, allowing Pakistan to diversify its sources of technology and avoid overdependence on a single supplier, which could leave it vulnerable to political pressure or embargoes. Western defense experts are particularly interested in how Pakistan has managed to create this mutually beneficial technology exchange, in contrast to the often rigid procurement processes in Western militaries that can take years to field new systems. This speed of adoption and adaptation means Pakistan can integrate new drone models or upgrade existing ones in a fraction of the time, keeping its capabilities aligned with, or even ahead of, regional threats. The strategic implication is clear. By partnering with nations willing to share technology without the restrictive conditions often imposed by the West, Pakistan has positioned itself to sustain and evolve its drone fleet at a pace that outstrips more bureaucratic defense establishments. This blend of foreign expertise and domestic customization creates a uniquely flexible and resilient drone program, one that is capable of meeting both current and future operational demands with minimal lag time. Pakistan's evolving drone doctrine is steadily reshaping the security balance in South Asia, compelling both its neighbors and distant powers to reassess their defensive strategies and regional postures. In a region where conventional military capabilities have long been the measure of deterrence, Pakistan's ability to project power and gather intelligence through unmanned aerial systems has added a new, less predictable dimension to the equation. Drones give Pakistan a persistent surveillance presence, enabling it to monitor adversary troop movements, strategic installations, and border activities without the logistical burden or political risk of manned flights. This constant watch forces rivals into a state of heightened vigilance, as any movement could be detected, tracked, and targeted with minimal warning. The psychological impact of such persistent observation is significant, as it creates uncertainty and compels opponents to divert resources to counter-drone measures, electronic defenses, and redundant command structures. Moreover, Pakistan's drone capabilities can be used to conduct precise strikes deep within contested or hostile territory, a factor that complicates traditional defense planning for adversaries like India, who must now account for threats that can bypass some of their conventional air defense systems. The introduction of drones into this regional chessboard also influences the behavior of smaller states, who may see Pakistan's model as a cost-effective way to enhance their own defense without engaging in prohibitively expensive arms races. For Western defense analysts, the key point of interest is how Pakistan's advancements are altering escalation dynamics. Where once large-scale troop movements or air sorties were required to signal intent, now a single drone strike or even a reconnaissance mission can carry significant strategic weight. This shift challenges existing doctrines of deterrence and response, as the threshold for provocation and retaliation becomes more ambiguous in a drone-centric environment. Pakistan's drone doctrine thus operates not only as a tactical asset but as a tool of strategic influence, shaping adversary behavior, regional alignments, and the very nature of conflict in South Asia. By proving that relatively small, precise, and cost-effective systems can have outsized geopolitical effects, Pakistan has created a playbook that other nations may seek to replicate, further complicating the global security landscape. Pakistan's drone warfare tactics have redefined what it means to be a capable military power in the 21st century. From precision-focused operations and cost-efficient innovation to hybrid warfare integration and real-time intelligence fusion, its approach shows that victory belongs to the side that can think smarter, move faster, and strike with purpose. Strategic alliances with emerging technology leaders have accelerated its growth, while the doctrine's ripple effects are reshaping the entire security calculus of South Asia. This is why Western defense experts are watching so closely, not simply because Pakistan has built drones, but because it has built a philosophy around them, one that turns unmanned systems into instruments of influence, deterrence, and psychological dominance. The lesson is clear: in the battles ahead, it will not be the nation with the most weapons that prevails, but the one that knows how to use them with the greatest precision and intent.